Hello, hello, everybody. How are you? It has been such a long time. Let me make sure that we're in the right place. Okay, looks like I am in the right place. So, how is everybody doing? It's been a little while. Tell me, what have you been up to? What have you guys been working on manifesting? Let's see. Pin to top. Okay, everybody should be able to find me now. Hi, Robert. Good to see you. Live on camera for the first time. Hi, Paulina. Good to see you. Elizabeth, hi. Hi, hi. So, how has the last couple months been? I know everybody's been kind of going through it with quarantine and the virus and everything. So, are you guys okay? Are you guys doing all right? How's everybody doing? They're starting to actually like open up around here now. It's crazy. Like, I had to go to Walmart to get cat food, and I just need the one thing. I just need one thing, right? I need cat food because I have three cats. And so I go in there and there's like 20 people in line. Like you have to actually wait in line to get into the Walmart. It's crazy now. So I did that, but I won't be doing that again. I'll be doing the grocery pickup. A new job. My current job ends next month. Really? Really? Are you still going to be in teaching? Is Let me know. Is the sound okay? Is the video okay? Is it laggy or anything? Let me know how the live stream is. Robert, you're hanging in there. Yeah, I think a lot of us are just kind of hanging in there. Hi, Latanya. Elizabeth says, I'm loving isolation. I don't like crowds. I have really loved the isolation myself. I'm a hardcore introvert. I know that doesn't really. I know like online, I don't come across as an introvert, but that's because I'm in my safe space, being an extrovert, right? I'm like an introverted extrovert or some whatever they call it, right? Like where you're kind of both, but I'm mainly introverted. And like my husband sent me this meme. You guys, if you're on my personal timeline, you probably saw it, but it's got Marilyn. I think it's Marilyn Manson, and he's like looking out the window, and looks kind of sad and stuff. And it's something along the lines like I've been preparing for this my whole life. Like I am all about the no contact, like DoorDash, get food delivered, grocery pickup, that sort of thing. So, like, I already had the systems in place before this all kind of went down. Um, I I did kind of go stir crazy there for just a couple seconds, but it was really because, I go to Arizona every year for a month to go visit my mom, and I don't know if it's going to happen this year. And I was starting to get really depressed about that. You know, not airline flight prices were amazing, but I didn't want to, you know, I just don't know. We're just going to have to see. It might be worth it to just pay double, triple when it's closer to the time rather than buy my ticket ahead. I don't really know. But that's the only point where I was like, where it really was like, ugh. I also don't have kids. So it's like, those of you guys that have kids and you've been trying to keep your kids inside, like, oh, I take my hat off to you guys. You guys are the real superheroes. Or, if you have like parents or grandparents in the home so you can't go visit. I mean, that's a terribly sad situation. Robert says Trader Joe's was the same way, right? Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Oh, Latanya says you're going to start the grocery pickup too. Like, and then, it's really just the best thing. Like, I like to go grocery shopping just simply because I don't go out very much because I work from home full time. And so like I have to seek ways to exercise and be active, right? So I like the grocery store because it's an air conditioned place where I can go in and walk around and get some exercise, right? But when you have like a big order, like a $400 or $500 order, you got to order the bathroom supplies, you got to order the cleaning supplies, the cat food, the cat litter, the dog food. I mean, when you have to like order, that one big order, it's really really nice to just do grocery pickup because you could be in the grocery store for 2 hours doing that. Saves a lot of time. Paulina says, I rebranded myself as a mindset transformation mentor and opened my very first Facebook group. So new things are happening for sure. That's amazing. I am so happy for you. I'm really excited to see how that is going to go for you? Like, how is that, how you're going to build your business, and like just how that's going to bring more of you out, you know? Elizabeth says, sound and video is good. Okay, thank you. You don't want to teach in public schools anymore? I really don't blame you. You've done it for a really long time. I did it for like a year. It wasn't a public school, but I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was a preschool, not a teacher, but like not an aide, not a teacher, but I was the person that would come in like after school ends, and then I would watch the kids from like 3 o'clock to like maybe 8 o'clock at night. So like, and I had mostly, I would either be in the baby room or I would be in the pre-K room, which was like, so the baby room was like 1 to 3 years old, I think, or 4 years old, something like that. And then the pre-K room was like, like 4 or 5. And then sometimes we'd have some older kids in there that needed like drop off from daycare. And just the 1 year that I did that, I was like, because I originally thought when I was thinking about going to college, I was thinking I was going to go into teaching, preschool teaching. That's kind of what I wanted to do, because I really love kids. I don't have any, but I really love them. And yeah, I did that for 1 year, and I ran out screaming. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do it. Thank you, Andra. Latanya, I'm comfortable at home. I'm a hardcore introvert too. I'm perfectly fine being away from people, but online I seem very extroverted. So it's the same. Yeah, it's the same way. You and me are like very similar with that. Robert says travel is difficult. My mother is in a nursing home out of state. Right. And you're not sure soon how sure you'll be able to see her. That is like the heartbreaking part for me, for everybody. Hi, Bianca. Good to see you. Oh, thanks, Kara. Kara, I dyed it like a really intense violet red, and my hair was like bleached before then. So it just kind of faded out over the month, and it just kind of left this, like, it's almost kind of like an ombre. You see how it's kind of like darker up here? It's kind of like that intense red, and then it, about like right here and down, it just kind of looks like a pinkish purplish color. I was like, what should I do? Because I couldn't get into my hairdresser, obviously. I have the coronavirus roots or whatever. Couldn't get into my hairdresser to get my bleach blonde. So I was like, I'm just going to dye it red. Because I used to wear my hair red for years and years and years. I actually did that a long time ago. In my early 20s, I always wore red. And so I know how difficult it is to get red out of, to go back to blonde. So I was like, I'm just going to dye it. We'll just see what happens. Over the next month. I didn't expect it to stay. I definitely expected it to lift, because my hair doesn't really take color anyway. Doesn't take perms, doesn't take color. My hair is just like that, stick straight, doesn't want to do anything. And so, I'm just going to let it just kind of fade out, I think, and then maybe I'll go from there, see what I want to do. I got to wait to get into my hairdresser though. Hi, Meg. Mario, welcome. Susie says, I ain't gonna lie, I'm going a bit stir crazy. I know you are, because you do all of the events. You're always doing the new moon and full moon circles. So I know that you are an integral part of your pagan community, Susie. Susie, I was gonna wear this today because I thought this would look so good. Susie actually gave this to me. It's a little locket. It's got a unicorn on it. Isn't it just the cutest thing? It's the cutest little booklet. It looks like a book of shadows, but it's like a locket. And you can put photos inside. Susie, you should have put a photo of you in here. I would have worn it. I wanted to wear this really, really bad today, but it hangs a little bit too low. So what I'm going to do is, I have the tools. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little shorter. But I was so wanting to wear this today, because I was like, you know what? I haven't worn this necklace from Susie in such a really long time, but it just didn't fit right with my outfit. So after my live stream, I'm going to get my jewelry supplies out and I'm going to fix it so I can wear it. Paulina says, I'm excited too. You're warmly welcome to come and stock my group if you'd like. Thank you. Hi, Damari. Are you currently doing any training? I know your course was around $200. Yes, I'll talk about that here in just a second. Hey, Mary. Good to see you. Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Pamela. Susie says, oh yeah, I remember that locket. I know, I've been wanting to wear it for such a really long time. Finally found the perfect shirt to wear, or dress to wear it with, and I've got to fix it, but I will do that. Okay, so I think pretty much everybody's here. Oh my gosh, we have 21 people here. Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been a minute since I've had time to hop on here. So I kind of want to talk. I know everybody's here, like, how do I make 20K, right? Like, I know everybody's here for that. But there are some things I want to talk about first, and I promise we will get to that. So, you know, if you don't want to sit and hang out for a little while and just chat, that's okay. I totally get it. You can come back when the replay is up. But yeah, I would just love to just connect with you guys for a little bit, talk to you guys about what I've been doing, where I've been, because I've obviously not been on YouTube, right? What am I creating? What projects am I currently finishing? Then we'll go over kind of like, what I did to make 20K during quarantine. And then we'll talk about some other things like what courses I have coming up and things like that. Stephanie says, I really love the idea of doing e-course or something like that and making workbooks, but I can't think of what I would ever make it on. So that's actually what I specialize in teaching. And that's a big part of it. The ideal client avatar part of it is a really big part in discovering like, what is your zone of genius? Like, what is your area that you really, really excel in? And not only just excel in, because as entrepreneurs, we're like really good at a lot of things. We're actually multi-talented. We're Jacks and Jills of all trades, right? That's just the entrepreneur. Like, we're very, very good at a lot of things. But it really takes a lot of effort for us to find that one or two, maybe three things that we can really become excellent in and decide to actually teach others or mentor others or coach others, how to do something through like an e-course or something, an ebook or e-course, or like, through passive income products like workshops and things like that. So, yeah, that's something that I really specialize in, Stephanie. So if you're interested, I do have a course and I will be talking about that in a little bit. It's a course, but it's a program. You get added to the group and there's like 12 modules and it goes through from start to finish, like figuring out who you are as a coach, like what you want to teach, what you want to coach people on, what really excites you and interests you, how to design your services, your packages, how to, what kinds of different passive income products you could put together. There's a lot to it. So yeah, and we'll be talking about that a little bit today too. Hey, Amethyst, good to see you. Amethyst says, I have the same issue. I have no clue of where to start making a product. Yeah, so that's actually something I can help you with for sure. Cara says, excited for any new trainings you're offering to relaunch my practice finally. I need to finish all of the other trainings I have purchased from YouTube and dealing with chronic illness, which is why I haven't managed any of this yet. And I totally understand that. I'm someone who also deals with chronic illness, invisible illness. So I understand, I understand the balancing act, the tightrope walking act of trying to live your life, trying to get things done, but also trying to stay sane and try to stay out of your pain zones or out of your trigger zones that cause pain. So I totally get it. Paulina says 20K is all fine and good, but I'm just here to hang out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sarah says the program is awesome. Thank you, Sarah. She's talking about the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course or Tarot Life Coach course. Okay. So, first of all, I really just want to celebrate, and I've got my champagne here. I really have been working really, really hard. So there's some things that I have accomplished this year that I set out to do that I have done. One of the very, very first things that I really wanted to do this year is I wanted to transition to mostly a passive income business. I used to see anywhere from, 5 to 10 one-on-one coaching clients over the last 6 years. And so I've been doing this for a very long time. Meanwhile, I also ran, if you remember, the Make Tour Your Business mentorship program, ran that for like 4 or 5 years. So I have just been in this crazy zone of content creation, and all of this content that I create. And that's one of the things most people come to me and they're like, how do you create so much content? I'm like, I know, it's really difficult, but I was just really, really in the zone there. I was really, really connected to my sacred masculine, the sacred masculine and the divine feminine parts of business, right? So the sacred masculine is like your strategies, your content creation, how to sell, sales conversations, ads and things like that, right? Like thinking about it more, the strategy logical side about how am I going to do this, like the step 1 through 10 of how I'm going to do this, right? And then you have the divine feminine part of the business where you work on your money mindset, you work on your ability to receive, you do your shadow work, you work on your blocks to success. That's one of the videos I posted today in the group. Actually, it was how your fear of success is sabotaging your business, right? But also the divine feminine aspect is also like your self-care and working a schedule that works for you, and being heart centered, meaning always coming back to what it is that sparks joy or whatever makes you happiest, right? And following that kind of path, and then learning, like we kind of go with, we were really heavy on one for a little while and then we're really heavy on another, and then where the magic really happens, where like the six figure success really happens, is when you start to merge those two things together. When you're really, really confident in your money mindset, you're really confident in who you are, who you serve, the offers that you have, then it becomes like an issue of like, all of those fears that we have about selling just kind of melts away. Like, am I good enough to do this? Like, why would anybody listen to me? My price is too high. Who's going to invest in me? Like that sort of thing. Those kind of apprehensions and blocks and things that we kind of deal with. All of that kind of goes away when we start merging the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I've always been super in my masculine. Even as a small child, I was a tomboy. So that was no problem for me. Like I know systems, I know strategies, I know how to do ads, I know how to do copywriting, I know how to do all that stuff really, really well. What I really needed to start working on, and I was in that sacred masculine for years, right? Just churning out content, just being a production machine, right? And so it happened about, I would say I started feeling the pull to go more towards my divine feminine probably about 2 years ago. That's when I made the decision, okay, I'm going to stick with the Make Terror Your Business one more year. I was actually going to close it a year previously to when I had it open. Then my mom got really, really sick. If you guys remember, she had a congestive heart failure. She's doing fine now. She's doing great. But I had kind of like a come to Jesus kind of moment where if I wanted to step away, if I had something going on in my life and I wanted to step away from my business, because I had set my business up very successfully, but it was always dependent on me being there, if that makes sense. Like I had to be there to run the business. I've had VAs and I've had people doing help for me and things like that. And that definitely helps. But what happened with my mom, and I needed to go and be out there for a long period of time to help her recover from that, is I'm like, okay, if this ever happens again, I need to be able to step away from my business for possibly up to 3 or 4 months at a time, and not, the revenue not be dependent on me being there. Right. So that's when I really started reconnecting to my divine feminine. I really started going more into the passive income route, more going towards workshops, courses, downloadables. I even tried to set up a merchandise shop. I just don't have time for it. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to bring that back, because I know you guys really like that, with like t-shirts and mugs and things like that. It's always fun to have that kind of stuff. I just need to be able to find the time for it. So I decided last year that, number one, I would get rid of a lot of people that were causing me problems. And I mean people that were people that I had grown close to, but really I noticed that they kept me in these sabotaging patterns, because, and what it kind of was is that they're great people and all, but they, you have those friends that they want you to be comfortable and they don't want you to stretch yourself, because they don't want you to feel pain or anything like that. And typically we're all empaths, right? So we always try to fix other people so they don't feel pain, so we're not empathing that. That's why we're actually doing a lot of the helping that we're doing, right? Subconsciously, until we learn that part about ourselves, and then we can kind of figure out how to actually help people authentically versus help people just to alleviate our pain and suffering, right? So that's a whole other journey, whole other live stream topic. So that was kind of where I was. I was like, okay, so then I started I started up a psychic development circle, and that was amazing. I met with people, we had like 10 people, 11 people in the circle. We met for a whole year. We did remote viewing, we did aura readings. I really connected back to my intuition, because I kind of felt like I don't know if you guys feel like this ever, but I kind of felt like I was starting to lose my magic, like lose my mojo, like lose that part of my business that's like the magical side of it, the more spiritual side. Because when you're looking at analytics and you're planning strategies and you're doing SEO, you're doing all of these things, it can feel very unmagical, right? Because it's the mundane aspect to it. So I was like, I need to get back to my magic. So I did the psychic development circle, and then I decided to retire the Make Tarot Your Business course, and I came out with a new course, and that was the Market Yourself as a Tarot Life Coach course. So basically what I did is, so the Make Tarot Your Business course was like 21, 22 modules long, 5 workshops, like 25 more other videos. Like, it was just massive. It was a ridiculous course. It worked for a really long time, and it really did get people results. But the thing that I heard the most is that it just took people too long to get through. And so what I did is I sat last spring, and I was like, what do I do with this? You know, I have all this content. I have like probably, I kid you not, 300 hours worth of content in the Make Tarot Your Business, just sitting in my hard drive doing nothing at this point. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I decided to take that course and take the best parts of that course and turn it into a 12 module training, which is now the Market Yourself as a Tarot Life Coach course. So it's basically like the speed version of it, you know, like the advanced, rapid kind of accelerated version of that course. And so now we've been running that. And actually, this month is our 1-year anniversary for that course. We have 60 people, I think, in the course right now. It's just awesome. It's amazing. You know, I've been able to definitely free up my time. I've learned the lessons. I've learned the hard lessons from the Make Tarot Your Business. And now I would say I'm pretty much, 70% passive income now, 30% active. I decided to also not take any more one-on-one clients. When you are running your business for at least a couple of years, let's say you're 3 or 4 years into this, and I mean, you're doing this full time, you're actually taking this very, very seriously, right? And you are, working with people one-on-one, there comes a point where your income becomes bottlenecked because you're basically selling your time. And so that's where I really want to help people right now, is those people that have a successful tarot reading business, but they're like, I really kind of want to get out of selling my one-on-one time, because yeah, you can charge $300 for an hour, but you only have so many hours that you can see people per week, right? So you might be making really great money. You might be at the 6 figures, but eventually you're going to get burnt out, and eventually you're going to get exhausted. And that's basically what happened to me. I got burnt out, and I got exhausted, and I couldn't do it anymore. So what I decided to do is to, primarily shift to passive income, and then just work with a couple clients at a time. And so that's what I've been working on this past 2 or 3 months or so. I'm working with 2 different clients. I was only going to take 1 client, but then this whole quarantine thing happened, and people were like, I mean, I need you, so I was like, okay, I'll take 2. And that was what I capped it at. I'll take 2. And those 2 people are working on some serious launches. One's working on setting up a membership site, a tarot education-based membership site, and the other one's working on their first course. And it's just there's a lot that goes into launching. I work with people usually at a 3-month period at a time. That's 6 sessions. Really, it could be 12 if we meet every week. But I found that 6 sessions over 3 months, and an hour to hour and a half-ish per session is really, really the best. And so we have been working really hard behind the scenes, because with the launches, there's the business model strategy that goes into that. There's the upsells and the downsells. There's putting the actual programs together, outlining them, filming them, getting them done, especially if it's a ready-made product versus a drip feed content. Like, I have 2 different clients doing 2 different things right now. There's coming up with all of the content that's going to be your ad content, your free content that's going to lead into your basically your lead generation content. There's the graphic design, there's the rebranding, there's so much that goes into it. It's a very, very extremely involved process. And so that's where I've been. So the other thing that I really wanted to focus on this year was YouTube, because YouTube is going to be part of the equation for me when it comes to passive income, because I really want to start making more money with YouTube ad revenue. And I've been doing that, and I've been exponentially growing my ad revenue. It's been amazing. I finally figured out the formula. I've pretty much figured that part out. And so, by the way, if you're interested, it's 3 minimum videos per week, 20 minutes or less, and positive or polarizing content. I actually have a video up on my YouTube that talks about that. One of the next videos I'm going to do on YouTube is different kinds of ad revenue and ways that you can maximize your ad revenue. Okay, there's like certain things that you need, certain boxes that you need to check to be able to fully maximize your ad revenue, and certain things that you can and cannot do on YouTube, and certain things you'll be penalized for and dinged for and things like that. So that's going to be some of the videos I have coming out. And so that has been a really big part of it as well. So it's very, very exciting. I've got client projects. I've got, YouTube that I've been working on. I've been also trying to get all of my old content on my Facebook business page and Instagram. You guys have been kind of seeing that. I've been posting those, like just trying to get my social media profiles equalized. I mean, it's a lot when you're running 3, right? There's a lot to it, and everything requires a different dimension of graphic and things. It's a lot of work. So that's kind of what I've been working on there. And then on top of that, I've been working on my new course. So my new course is going to be really exciting. I will give you guys a hint, and the hint is moon. Moon, hint is moon. And again, this is kind of like an homage of going back to my divine feminine energy and really sinking back into my feminine energy. And it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a marketing course obviously. So it's going to be teaching marketing, and it's going to basically be picking up where the Market Yourself as a Tarot Life Coach course kind of drops off. So when you go through the Market Yourself as a Tarot Life Coach course, you start with, there's a healing module. The first module is healing. So you start looking into like your fears and your blocks around success and attention, visibility, that sort of thing. Then we start aligning ourselves with like our quantum self. That's like our rich self that is actually a philanthropist and actually makes the world a better place, right? And then it also goes into like, discovering what kind of coach you are. Are you a coach, a mentor, a teacher? Are you a combination of those? Then it goes into like, what is your transformational story, and how to write stories and how to use storytelling in your marketing and in your brand to really make that empathetic connection with people. And then we go into how to find the content that your ideal client actually wants from you, how to actually start getting seen, being visible, how to start building a brand trust, how to start being seen as the expert, as the go-to expert in your niche, and like whatever niche you end up being. Like if you want to be a love and relationship coach, or you want to be a life purpose coach, or mindset coach, or whatever, whatever kind of coach you want to be. So then we start talking to that, and then we get into how to design your signature services, how to create profitable packages, like different ways you can kind of package your time. Like you can do VIP days, you can do 3 and 6 month packages, or you can do like 1 session packages where you throw in kind of bonuses and things like that. It could be downloads, workbooks, whatever. And then from there we go into, like the mindset for copywriting. And then it kind of goes into content creation calendars and the value of the content creation calendars, and becoming really, really consistent with releasing your content in different ways that you can do that, different ways you can set it up with your calendar to be consistent and to hold yourself accountable, really. That's what it's really more about, is to be accountable. So that course leaves off at the creation of the content calendar. Okay, so this is what this content I'm going to be releasing this day, and this content I'm going to be releasing this day, and this month I'm going to be focusing on this, and blah, 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 right? So this new course that I'm going to be creating is basically, we're going to be looking at the month itself. We're going to be looking at, so that other course is more of like the macrocosm of your business, right? It's like all of the big things in place that you need. And this next course is going to be the microcosm. What do you need to do like on a daily basis, like day by day by day? Like what are the income generating activities that you should be doing on a daily basis? And then tying that to the moon phases. So I'm not going to say too much more than that, because I do want to leave some surprise for you, but there's going to be handouts, there's going to be daily trackers, there's going to be monthly trackers, there's going to be trackers galore. There's going to be, different ways you can schedule. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm also going to try and put an oracle card deck to it as well. I would really like for that to come out at the same time as the course, so you guys can get it all in like one package deal. But I may have to just say, because I have this habit of like being too ambitious and like dreaming, like there's no such thing as dreaming too big, but like, like I can sit and make something like super, super big and just like amazing and huge. But the problem is, excuse me, the problem is that I can do that to excess. So I have to kind of rein myself in a little bit and say, okay, Christina, what can we realistically do in the next 3 months, and how much can we realistically get done in the next 3 months, and then we can kind of revisit and see if I want to add more to it and things like that. So that's what I'm going to be working on. That's going to be the new course. I've already started working on it. At this point, it's literally I've got pretty much all of the daily sheets and stuff like that done. At this point, I need to make the slide. I need to fill out the actual outline, like actually write the outlines and stuff. I need to create the slideshows, and then I need to actually start putting out some content around astrology and things like that. So that's kind of what you're going to see probably over the next, I would say, 3 months. That's the direction that you're going to kind of see me going into. I'll probably be doing some workshops on like lunar astrology, your moon sign, be talking about that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be working on. Hi Iridessa, good to see you. Amethyst says I need to work on my divine feminine on a deeper level. And it's interesting how, when I think about it, it's interesting how what happened with my mom was like the catalyst of, wanting to go deeper into that. So yeah. And I previously, like maybe 6 years ago, I was also part of like a healing circle. Those are also really, really valuable, especially if you want to overcome some of your fears and some of your blocks and things like that. Really working on the mother wound, really working on the father wound, working on the abandonment wound, that kind of thing. So that was kind of like my therapy. And actually I cleared a lot of stuff out with that alone, with those women's circles. And that was great. But there's always more work to be done, right? Thank you, Iridessa. She says, love the color. Meg says, I think I exhausted my sacred masculine over the last 4 years with a successful business I have now moved on from. Seriously, I'm just having so much trouble getting my lessons done. Yeah. So for me, Meg, when that happens to me, it's because I'm trying to make something too big, like kind of what I was just sort of saying. And so one of the things that I try to do is I try to say, okay, how can I make this simpler? Because the truth is that the direction that marketing is going now, people used to be able to sit down and watch 1-hour videos. People don't really have time for that anymore, right? Maybe during quarantine they do, but just the direction that marketing is going is that the simpler, the more concise, the more impactful it is. So it's actually on trend to kind of break things down into more bite-sized, manageable pieces. I know I can personally psych myself out when I try to make things too big, because you can always build on something, right? But once you commit to doing something so big, it's really hard to, you have like guilt and those sorts of regret, those sorts of feelings kind of come in. So, my advice there is maybe it's just not the right time to create lessons. Maybe right now it's just the time to coach, I really look at my coaching sessions as like my vacations now in my business, because I get to just hop on and talk. I don't have to put together outlines, scripts. I don't have to put together graphics, SEO. There's the whole aspect of working to work, when it comes to the passive income products and creating lessons and things like that. Another thing that I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed is sometimes I cannot bear to just sit in front of my computer for hours and type, right? So I have to do what's comfortable. I have to put myself in a position, in a place where I would be willing to work, right? So sometimes it's a matter of sometimes I just have to sit in bed and just go back to pen and paper and just, You know, that's what I did on Tuesday, I think it was, where I just literally just sat and watched Netflix and just put pen to paper and wrote like 20 pages on paper. And, you know, I'll come back in here and I'll transcribe it all on the computer. But sometimes I think that technology can be a little distracting. And so I think if you have problems or you struggle with that, maybe going back to pen and paper and doing it in a comfortable space, that might help, maybe. Thank you, Pamela. Pamela says, that's where I would like a biz to be. I had to step away too and come back. Right. It's hard. It's hard. Susie says, I love the psychic course. Thank you. Pamela says, I miss that circle. Yeah, I do too. I might be ready to do one again. I've been wanting to. Because remember, I was going to do a 3-month one with Lenormand. It was all going to be Lenormand based. But 1/3 of that was all health readings. So I wasn't going to go there with Corona because people are just, they're not in the right space for it. Hi, Jen. Catherine says, I relate. I have total divine masculine burnout after 17 years of being in corporate leadership. Yeah, you would, for sure. Now I need to build and create myself, and I'm struggling so much. Yeah. It's interesting how we all kind of come from different backgrounds. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Lynn. Pamela says, when I get this house done to a level I can move in, I'm getting back to my magical side, working biz and circle stuff at the same. I've been seeing you've been busy. Like, you've got your radio show going now. That's awesome. I saw that you also put a schedule out for in the metaphysical marketplace for a circle, so I'm excited. Susie says, that's one of the reasons why I created my Witch Academy, because I was burned out with one-on-one clients. Yeah, it happens. I mean, for most people, it depends on where you are, what stage you are in your business. You know, having a full book of one-on-one appointments can be a dream come true for a lot of people. But then when you're at like the 3 or 4 year mark, that becomes like such a big burden. And it's not anything personal. It's not against the people that you're working with, because you really love the people that you're working with and you're very excited to work with them. It's just a matter of like, it's just a lot of energy to do one-on-one and to hold space and to work through blocks and to teach people like one-on-one. It's a lot. Thank you, Latanya. Catherine says, loving your content on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm going to be getting back to that. So I will be filming some videos here soon. Probably not next week, but the week after that. I think I have like 2 or 3 more sessions with one-on-one clients left. So when I'm through with those packages, I'll be able to really get back with my YouTube and doing the short videos that I've been doing. People have been really loving those. Hi, Elena. Elizabeth says, I love to plan on paper. I spend more time in the flow. I do too, because what I'll do, Elizabeth, is I'll have like 10 pieces of paper out sprawled in front of me. And so it's just, I'll be able to like divinely channel in a raw way, right? So if I have an idea and it's related to this, I can write it. And then I have an idea that's related to this and I can write it, and I can, it's just easier to kind of bounce back and forth, you know, so you're more in the flow. Whereas when you're typing it all out, you know, you can kind of switch between tabs and things like that, but it's not the same as just having a big mastermind thing in front of you where you can kind of see the connections and kind of weave it all together. Does that make sense? Right. Pamela, yeah. It's a lot of work to clean out those houses. Amanda says a part of it might be blue light eye strain. I have the blue blockers. That's why my glasses look well. I don't know if you can see it right now, but in the right light, they're actually yellow. But I have literally been on the computer, I kid you not, since '99, 1999, hours every single day. So, yeah, I've been on the computer for 20 years, running communities. If I wasn't working on my business, I was playing games or hosting forums, and you know, like, I've been on the computer for 20 years. So when I realize now that, like, you know, sometimes I just get sick of looking at a freaking screen all day, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pamela says, I have some days where I just sit and veg to get my brains back and then I go gung ho. Right, like you have to kind of work in that flow. And that's going to be one of the big things that I'm going to teach in the new course. Because when you work with the lunar phases, there's a time to work really, really hard, and there's a time to rest. And so it's going to help you manage your energy a lot more. Lists and different. Yeah, that's me too. That's me too. Paulina says, I love writing by hand. Oh, yes, 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 yes. And make a whole ritual out of it. Yes. Amanda said, I don't remember not living in a house with a computer. Right. I think, how old are you, Amanda? You're probably like, what, 27, maybe? I'm 32. So we're about the same generation. Catherine says, I recommend the app Flux for blocking blue light on your computer. Yes, you can do that. Flux is good. Another thing that I have is like dark and light. So that's another thing that I do. Like it's a little app. It's called, I don't know if it, dark mode. I think it's called dark mode. That may be similar to like what you guys are talking about. So it's like it kind of dims the light a little bit. Okay, so you're actually my age. So yeah. So you're pretty much, yeah. So basically you and I were like I would say 29 to, no, before then, I would say 32 to 34 maybe. We're in the generation that we actually got the computers, right? As a youth. We were like the first computer generation. Like when we went to school, we had typing class and things like that, you know? I feel like a wall hit me some days. I lost a whole week last week. That happens. It happens. You know, it's more about your resilience to bounce back. Hi, Eleanor. Okay. So, are we ready to talk about how I made 20K during quarantine? So this is not going to be like I'm not going to like tally everything up and say you have to sell this many things in this way and you have to do it this way, because that just simply doesn't work for people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you different ways that I've packaged and sold my time and my products, and I'll give you like an estimation of amount, like you know, like how much a round I made or how many sessions or ones I've sold. Does that make sense? Because really my intention today, it's not, you know, to like say, okay, you have to do it this way, because you know, this has taken me, I've been on doing my business for almost 10 years, almost a decade online full time, right? So it's taken me a long time to get to this space where I know my energy, I know my schedule, I know how much of what I can do, I know what is too much, I know what's not enough, right? So my formula, the way I run my business, the exact way that I package my time and things like that, that's not going to be repeatable for you because you're not me, right? And so what I really want to do, my intention today, is just to give you guys some ideas about how you can package your time, right? When quarantine kind of hit, I knew this was coming, okay? Back in December, whatever, I was like, oh crap, it's coming, you know, it's coming. I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to ever freak people out, but then also I always leave room in my life to be pleasantly surprised, if that makes sense. Like it's like that sort of energy where you prepare for the worst, but you leave room for a miracle, right? Yeah. I remember those old Macs. Yeah. Meg says, I've been on computers for 30 years. Yeah, it's a really long time, right? So what was I saying? I've already gotten off track here. Okay, so I knew that this was coming. I knew that this was going to be a problem. The thing that I knew most of all is that I needed to show up during it, because I've really am selective about who I follow in terms of business coaching. I will not follow just random people. I will not follow my peers. I'm just like that. I don't I don't follow other business coaches unless they're in the 7-figure mark, because I don't really have anything to learn from the people that are doing 6 figures, right? And or under, or even 6 figures, sure, but the people that are only, you know, 30, 40, 50K a year, like I have nothing to learn from those people. And a lot of the times what happens is that I notice things that they're still stuck in, limiting beliefs that they're still stuck in, that they're coaching people on, that is actually more harmful than it is beneficial. I don't care what other people do. You can do whatever you want, like do whatever you want. But I have to be very, very selective about the energy that I absorb from other business coaches specifically. So I'm very, very, very picky about who I follow, about who I listen to, about the energy that I put myself in, the energy that I absorb, the people that I put myself around, that I allow myself to learn from and to learn, but also do mindset work and things like that with people, right? So I'm very, very, very picky about that. And that's because I've done a lot of work to get over a lot of crap that I've had and, limiting beliefs and things like that. So that's just me. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to that. That's just me. I've been told that before. So even if you think that, you're not thinking or saying anything that I haven't heard before, right? And so what I noticed, though, is a lot of these business coaches completely disappeared. And I knew that was going to happen because it's really hard to explain. Even people that are making 7 figures, even people in the $1 million business mark, right? The $1 million business celebration, that achievement mark. What I've learned about millionaires is that they're just people like us. They just happen to have a lot of money, right? Pamela says, totally agree with how you follow people. I have a post from Colin Powell on my fridge about that. It's a whole article, right? Yeah, exactly. People even at the 7-figure mark have problems, and they still have struggles, and they still have limiting beliefs and fears and things like that. Trust me. I've worked with some of those people. Like some of the coaches I've hired have turned around and hired me. We've done sessions, things like that. Okay. So I have worked with people from zero, from goose egg, no money, to multi-million dollars. Okay. But they're still just people. There's still just people that are trying to live in this world, trying to do the best that they can. What I noticed is around the beginning of March or so, they all disappeared. There were no launches. There were no affiliate ads. There were no new programs coming into place. Everybody was no longer taking one-on-one clients. And I couldn't understand that. I couldn't get it. I didn't understand that. And so I'm like, wow, we are in a very, very trying time right now. We are in a very serious time right now. Where the heck are all these people that are supposed to be these light leaders, that are supposed to be these 6 and 7 figure business coaches, that are supposed to be like, build your recession-proof business, blah, blah, blah. Where did they go? I've only seen a couple of them start to peek around and start to post things again, but they literally, people dipped out. And I thought about that, and I was like, I was honestly kind of embarrassed for them, because I was like, you have all these people here who are looking for encouragement to go forward in this time, where everybody else says it's like a waste of time to try to sell right now because nobody has money and things like that. That was some of the other things that I was seeing, like some of these high-level business coaches, don't try to launch anything right now. It's going to be a waste of time. You're not going to get a good launch, and people don't have any money and things like that. And I was like, wow. So I was like, you know what? If the way that I think about my reality really creates that, and that's something that I truly believe as a business coach, and it's something that I teach other people, and I teach people money mindset, and that the market itself and the economy doesn't matter, because especially online, we're building a universal business. We have an unlimited amount of people that can hire us. It's like, if I really want to really be authentic, that means that I have to show up. And so I don't know if you guys remember, but I put a post in the group like maybe a month ago or something like that, like trying to saying, guys, just keep showing up, business as usual. I know things are hard right now, but the more that we keep pushing, the more that we keep trying to show up, the more that we just keep, trying to maintain some level of like normalcy in our businesses, the stronger we're all going to be off for that, right? Because the witch market, the spiritual market, our industry, we are already disconnected from the matrix, right? We're already disconnected from the 9 to 5. We're already disconnected from you have to go to college, you get a degree, get a job, you have to pay into Social Security and Medicare and get a retirement and things like that. Like, Us magical folks, we've already disconnected from that. We work within our own construct. Our construct is timeless. There's no limit to it. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but what I really found is a lot of the 6 and 7 figure business coaches that I follow were going back into the old paradigms, going back into the matrix of, okay, the normal economy, the average economy is bottoming out, so our economy is going to bottom out too. In actuality, the self-help, the spiritual development industry saw a major boom during the crash. Why? Because everybody's home, everybody's bored, everybody wants something to do. And especially your passive income, like your courses, your workshops, your $5. Hey House just came out with it. I thought this was freaking brilliant, you guys. Hey House just came out with $4.99. They have like 10,000 hours of audiobooks that you can listen to for $5 a month. I was like, they just made $1 million off of that because everybody's got $5. Pretty much everybody's got $5. Now, I don't want to be insensitive because I know people have lost their jobs. I know people are struggling. I know that it's hard for people right now, and I'm not going to, try to say that people aren't struggling, that people don't have money to spend. Some people don't, but a lot of people aren't really affected by this. Especially your higher end clients, right? That have the money that they're not worried about not having a month's worth of income, right? That's just kind of how it is. There's a whole bunch of different types of people out there. And so I've been paying attention to all of the different ways that businesses, especially in the spirituality industry, have started selling their services and their products in a way that, and I predicted this. If you go back on my YouTube, it was like, should I lower my price? Should I discount my services or prices during the recession? It was like one of those videos I did. And I basically said, no, there's no reason to. But what is going to be really important during this quarantine is to make yourself more accessible at lower price points. So what I mean by that, say, for example, instead of selling 1 hour sessions at $300, okay, sure, you can do that. And another thing you could do is you could sell 15-minute sessions at $125, okay, something along that, where like you're not discounting your services, but you're making yourself more accessible. You're making yourself more accessible to people at different price points, okay? And so that was my inspiration for how I really, just got this through this whole quarantine thing with making more money in a shorter amount of time than I have in years past. This spring for me during quarantine blew my past years out of the water. Like usually February is like really, really, really big. Like January, February are really big months, like big income months. March, April, May kind of slows down. Then we have kind of like a slowdown until summer. Then summer kind of picks back up. And then we have a slowdown when kids go back to school. And then it picks back up during October. My income did not stop. It has not stopped. There was like maybe 2 weeks there, I think in the very beginning when everybody was kind of freaking out, where all the toilet paper disappeared and stuff like that, I think there's 2 weeks where I only made like maybe $500, right? The rest of that, I've been making a lot more money, and it's just been consistently coming in. And I have been doing very little to actually go out and get it. As you've seen, I haven't posted anything on YouTube in 3 weeks. That has not stopped my income whatsoever. And that's the type of thing that I can teach you how to do in the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course, because I see a lot of you guys doing the free readings and doing like the tarot scopes and things like that. That's fine and all, but what happens when you don't show up? You don't make that money. Nobody has any reason to go back and watch a video you did 3 months ago about the horoscope in November. That gives nobody any incentive to watch your content. So I'm really big on harping on you. This is why I harp on you guys so much and really try to dissuade you from doing free reading live streams or doing like tarot scopes and things like that, cards of the week and stuff like that. It's completely a waste of time. Because the moment that you need to step away from your business, the moment that you need to take a break or you need to deal with a sick kid or an elderly parent or something like that, you don't have income coming in, right? So anyways, that's that little part of it. Susie says, I noticed that too. Coaches just disappeared. And that's sad, isn't it? It's just sad. Jade says the psychic hotlines are super busy. Hi, Jade. And I didn't expect that because of COVID, but I didn't want to give up. So I'm prospering. And that's really what it is, Jade, is the people that are making the money are the people that refuse to give up, right? There's a lot to be said about that. Elizabeth says, I actually worked on upping my presence and getting more in the zone with my biz. Awesome. Hi, Desiree. Pamela says, I haven't really seen anyone doing sales during COVID except for Old Navy, and they are driving me crazy. 5 emails a day, right? It's kind of crazy. Like, and I haven't been doing any public sales, but I've been doing private sales. Okay, so what does that look like? What does that 20K actually look like? Okay, so first of all, I had 2 one-on-one clients. All right, that was about 5,000 between both of them. That included the 3-month package and other various like additional, like they hired me to do additional projects like building landing pages, building sales pages, tweaking copy, creating graphic design, that kind of stuff, right? So little side projects that I've done for clients. So that's already 5K right off the bat. Kara says, thank you so much. You're a little lifesaver to me. You're so welcome. Thank you. Okay, so what else have I done? We'll start with the big things, and then we'll kind of move down to like we'll start with the macro transactions and the micro transactions. So I did that. And then I also did some additional projects for some other people, building web pages, copywriting, all that kind of stuff. So I had the 2 one-on-one clients. That was about 5K. And then I had some other projects. Those would be between, let's say, the 250 to 500 mark, let's say, ish. I had maybe 4 or 5 of those, okay? So those were like, those could be like VIP days, like where you don't need a package, but you just need to meet for like 2 hours and hash out your marketing strategy, or you need my help to come up with content, or you need my help to do ideal client avatar type of stuff, or you need my help to outline your course, or or you just want to talk about something, right? So those are more like my VIP days. Some of my more private projects, like one-off projects for people that I've worked with in the past that I already have a relationship with. I already kind of know their business, and then I can just do these little tasks in between that they need done. And then there was passive income, right? So passive income would be like my market yourself. Well, semi-passive income would be market yourself as a spiritual life coach course. That's a passive income, semi-passive income product, because you buy the course, but then we meet on Mondays to get homework feedback, and you get 6 months when you join that. Okay. That's at 222. I'd have to look and see how many people we had, but I think we had maybe around 10 or so. I'd have to look back in the group. I think around maybe 10 or 12 or so. So that was another $2,000 to $3,000. And then I also have on my academy several workshops in the $11 to like, I think $44 range. Okay. So that just kind of, I have old content that spits that sells that. And sometimes like on the new moons, like I need to get back to doing this consistently, but sometimes I'll post like a new moon sale, or I'll post like a 24-hour sale or a 48-hour sale where I knock those down like half price, and I'll sell like a couple $1,000s worth of those in 1 or 2 days. Okay. Little micro courses. And then, what I also did too is I offered for $100. So people that were in the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course previously, and their 6 months ran out, they could buy an extended 3 months worth of support for $100. I sold 20 of those, I want to say. So that was another about $2,000. YouTube ad revenue, that's been going up. Okay. That was maybe $400 a month. So maybe quarantine, I really consider like March and April, maybe half of May. So maybe like 2 months or so. So maybe that was like another $800, $900 or something around there. What else did I do? Let me look. Hold on. I wrote this stuff down. Let me look at my notes. What else did I sell? Oh, then I also did for $44. This is an ongoing thing. And there was like 3 weeks there where I was like booked out, like I could not take any more, and it was like a 3 week wait. I did email coaching sessions for $44. I did like maybe 3 days a week. I did maybe between 3 and 5 of those per day. So 15, let's say 15 a week for a couple months. So I think I did maybe between 30 and 40 of those, maybe something around in there. So what is 44 times 40? So that was like another 2K. All right. Pamela says, I have to work on my web pages again soon. Yeah. Yep. Funnels. Pamela says, I've been getting emails from people constantly. Yeah, at full price. Like nobody's really doing this. Well, some people are, but not a lot of people are. Oh, another thing that another part of my income is my deck sales. So I have, if you don't know, I have some Lenormand decks that I've been working on. Okay, here. This is my health and medical intuitive Lenormand. All right. So revenue from that. And then I have the Lovers Lenormand. Oops. So there's that one. And then I also have the Learner's Lenormand, where it's the 2-in-1 deck, where it has this side and then it has this side with the keywords and stuff on it. So that, I would say, at least another couple $100 in revenue from that. I also have a cauldron set up in my groups where people can donate to PayPal. It's just a donation, so maybe like another $100 from that. So yeah, so that's about 20K in 2 months, right? So what did I do? I did one-on-ones. I did one-off projects. I did extended support with people who are already in my courses. I sold my signature course. I did email coaching, YouTube revenue, passive income revenue, course like workshops and things like that, deck revenue, donations. So yeah, there's like 10 streams of income right there. How do you work around liability with medical intuitive readings? I'll do a video about that. It's in my queue. I've got to get it done. Oh, yeah. No, I've actually done many, many, many. Melina says, I have medical intuitive abilities, but shy away from that because I fear I get sued. So I've actually done many, many medical readings. Never had a problem. Not saying that you won't, just saying that it's not as big of a deal as other people out there like to make it be. And yeah, so I'll talk about that in another video here pretty soon. About that because I actually feel very, very passionately about our right to do medical intuitive readings as a person that loves chronic illness, as a person who does medical intuitive readings on themselves, so I have actually a lot to say about that. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. So yeah, I mean, that's how I did it. And honestly, anybody can do it. I mean, these are just different ways you can kind of package your time and package your services and products. I did work a lot for it. I mean, I worked a lot for it, but considering the last 4 years, like, I didn't create any new content for 3 weeks and I still made that much money. So, it's just incredible. And it is great because what really makes me happy about that is, yeah, the money's cool and all, but what really, really makes me happy about that is the fact that other people are still running their business during quarantine, which leads me to believe that other people are doing really, really well during quarantine as well. So it's not just me personally that did well business wise. And because I know some people are like, well, that's because you're in business coaching and, you guys are always busy and things like that. And no, that's really not it. It just seems like I'm busy because I'm really good at what I do. So people want to hire me. I know plenty of business coaches that don't have any clients, trust me, that don't have a business. But most of my, like 99% of my clients are not business coaches. They're doing like magical academies. They're doing psychic development academies. They're doing life purpose coaching. They're teaching tarot, that kind of stuff. So I mean, they're doing well too. So it seems like everybody's pretty much doing well, but kind of just stuck with it, during quarantine. And so, I had to kind of step back from creating content just because I've been so busy with everything else. But I really, really am excited to get back into creating YouTube videos. I'm excited to start working on this moon marketing course for you guys. I really want to create a couple more decks at the very least in this Learners Lenormand series. I want to create one for career and money, and then I want to create another one for like past life readings with Lenormand. Yeah, so does anybody have any questions about like making money, about how to package your time, how to package your services, that sort of thing? Does anybody have any questions about anything that I said about how I kind of itemized how I made that 20K? Like, does anybody have any questions about that, or curious about anything when it comes to that? I guess we could open up to Q&A time, and then if you guys don't have any questions, that's pretty much all I really wanted to share with you guys today. As far as like other things I have going on, like I've been doing some remodeling in my house. I've been remodeling the bathrooms, and I started working on the basement because the basement is going to be my big office, right? I'm going to eventually move down there. But what I realized in the course of remodeling that is that I had some plumbing situations that needed to be taken care of that I had to kind of work on first. So I'm in the process. We're redoing the bathroom. So that's been kind of stressful, but like the good kind of stress, Can you talk about price points? Oh, sure. Okay. So, for one-on-one coaching for 3 months, most people are going to pay somewhere around $3,000. Okay. If you don't need if you only need like 3 sessions, it's going to be a lot cheaper than that. All right. So one-on-ones, I would say somewhere between, let's say 1 and 3K. All right. Email coaching was $44. You could definitely charge more for that. I just charged $44 because I wanted, again, to be accessible for people. So $44 for the email coaching. The extended support for my course was $111. The actual price of the course is $222. My passive income products are anywhere from, let's say, $11 to like $44. I might even have some at the $100 mark. I'm not 100% sure. I think I lowered those prices last year because I knew I was going to go more to the passive income. What else? Like one-off projects with people, like doing a landing page or doing like sales copy or something, like doing like a 2-hour VIP day, or like 2 hours or so. That's around $500. Okay. Let's see. YouTube revenues, like about $400 a month or so, and that keeps it going up. My deck revenue, like creating Oracle card decks, I think I have it set to like 22%. So I sell a deck for like $16 and like a little over $16, and I think I make like $2 or $3 off of that per sale. What else? What am I forgetting? Tiara, I just came in. How long did it take you to make about 2 months? Maybe 2 months and a week. Jade says, what other things can you do with tarot as a business that has nothing to do with giving readings? Ooh, that's a really good question. So you can teach tarot. You can do readings for people, but you can do it more like a mentorship where like you're teaching them how to read, or it's more of like it's not like you're actually like the authority in the session. Like it's more like they're the authority. It's more like a coaching session. You can utilize them in your coaching sessions, your spiritual life coaching sessions. You could do art with them. You could do yoga practices with tarot cards, like going into different asanas that are based off of tarot cards. You could do guided meditations based off tarot cards. You could do so many things. You could do so many things with tarot cards. You could create tarot cards. You could draw tarot cards. Melita says, can you talk about how to get yourself out there so people see your services? And that comes down to creating content, educational content, especially on video, Melina. That's going to position you as an expert in your niche. So it's not teaching what you do, but it's teaching in a parallel way to what you do. So say, for example, you're a yoga instructor. Okay. Say, for example, you're a yoga instructor and you're trying to record classes and you're trying to teach live classes. Okay, those are your two income streams. You want to do passive income, record classes, sell them, or put them up on YouTube for ad revenue, and then you want to teach live classes. Okay, let's just say, for example, that's the niche. So what do? So you don't start creating videos about how to become a yoga instructor unless you want to start certifying people to become a yoga instructor. But let's say that that's not really like what you really want to do. What you really want to do is you just want to build your private practice. So what are some parallel modalities to yoga that people would be interested in that would also be interested in yoga? Okay, so say for example, chakras. Chakras would be a really good niche to kind of get into for a yoga teacher, because a lot of yoga is based on your chakras. That's activating chakras in your kundalini, right? Building up that kundalini energy. And so what you could do instead of, releasing content about how to become a yoga instructor, is what you could do is you could release content about educational content about chakras that relate to yoga. And say, you could pitch at the end something along the lines like, say, for example, if you were doing, if you really wanted to sell, you had a signature session, it's a 1 hour one-on-one yoga instruction where it's a heart opening sequence. Okay, so about opening up your heart chakra. Well, most people don't know that they need to open up their heart chakra. They don't know the benefits of that. They don't even know why they should. They don't even know that they may have some heart chakra blocks. So content that you could create is, blocks that you have to your heart chakra, benefits of doing a heart chakra opening sequence. What is the heart chakra? Why we should work on our heart chakra, that sort of thing. So you want to kind of talk about what you do in a roundabout way. It's like kind of, skirting kind of around the topic without actually teaching the actual topic and giving away like your method of success for that topic. Does that make sense? And educational video content is going to always be the best. Second to that would probably be text, and that could be through blog posts or that could be through ads. Melina says, I'm not really tech savvy with development. And you're not alone. A lot of people aren't, but it's easy to learn. It's going to seem overwhelming at first, but it's like anything else that you learn, It seems hard at first, but then you get a knack for it. You get into the flow of it, and it starts making sense to you. Susie says, I want to set up a 2-hour VIP day. You should definitely do that. I think that would sell really well for you, especially at like the $500 mark, Susie. For sure, like a 444 or a 333 investment for a 2-hour VIP day. Absolutely. How did you do it? CL says, how did you do it without discounting but at lower price points? Yeah, so what I did is, I could have just taken 20 divided by 3 is about 7-ish. So I could have taken between 5 and 7 one-on-one clients, and I could have just done it at the 2 or 3K level, right? And I could have just been done with that, and that would have been enough. But what I really wanted to do for quarantine is make myself available at different price points without discounting it. So what I would do is, like, for example, so if people don't want to do the 2 or 3K like coaching package for 3 months and 6 sessions, but they only want to meet for 2 hours, well, sure, I can do that. So what I did is I just tallied up what 2 hours of my time is worth and sold it at that price point. So for the people that are the 2 or 3K level is out of reach for that people, I still have something at the 500 level. And then I did that all the way down to where my lowest level to work one-on-one would be the $44, which is an email coaching session, which I would spend maybe 20, 30 minutes on. Amanda says, market yourself as a tarot life coach and talk about spirituality and self-development. Yep. You are so welcome. Melina says, I would like to do magical work for people, but I don't necessarily want to teach exactly how to do it. Right. So you would need some other kind of niche to kind of, you could do magical work, but that magical work is more of a process. It's not a niche, right? So what you could do is what kind of magical work do you want to do, Melina? So if you wanted to do, let's say you really wanted to focus on love magic work, like breaking people up or bringing people together, or uh, reigniting the relationship, like whatever aspect of the magical work that you want to do with that. So instead of, marketing yourself as a magical worker, which you certainly could, but it's hard to talk about different things, right? That's kind of, that is a very, very niche. So you kind of want to pull back a little bit. So then you would kind of pretty much advertise yourself as a love and relationship coach, right? That would mean that, yeah, you would have to kind of learn about love and relationships a little bit and be able to coach your clients. But your actual process would be through magic, through manifestation, whatever kind of techniques. Amanda says, Ayurveda. Sure. That would be also, for a yoga teacher, that would also be another great way to kind of talk about topics that would be interesting to your ideal client without giving your knowledge away for free. Elizabeth says, I would love to record more meditations to have for passive income, but need a way to mix the music with the meditation. I use Movie Maker. I use Microsoft Movie Maker. It might be kind of hard to find because I think they discontinued it after they did Windows 10. I don't know of any other video softwares, but gosh, that's like such a basic thing you could certainly do. So basically what you'll do is what I do in Microsoft Movie Maker is I'll have the audio track and I'll upload the audio track into the video editing software. And then if I have a video that goes along with it, I'll add the video to it. And then what you can do is you can buy like videos that loop. You can go online and there's like companies that you can go and you can buy the rights to loopable videos or, things like that, music, stuff like that. Or you can do it over an image. And what you do is you just kind of copy and paste the image to take up the whole time as the audio. So yeah, that's very, very basic. I would say pretty much any type of movie video editing software can do that. Okay, Melina, so I would say like maybe love and relationship coaching or manifestation coaching or something like that. Melina says, I also do psychic mediumship, tarot readings. Yeah, so you have a lot going for you. The only problem that I see with that is that you can do all of those things. There's no one saying that you can't do all these things, but you have to focus on one thing for a year minimum to really start seeing results. Otherwise, if you keep bouncing between, mediumship readings and honey jars and love coaching, people, it's almost kind of like marketing, schizophrenia, that's, like people just don't know who you are that day. Like, who am I going to see today? Melina the medium, or you know what I mean? So you have to have like one overall kind of umbrella title niche, and then certainly you can sell things under that. But there should be at least the one thing that you really become famous and known for, and that will help with brand recognition for sure. And that again, like I'm saying, I'm not saying that you can't do all of those things. You can, but you have to be smart about what you're investing your time and energy into marketing the most. And you have to delve it up. Like, you're going to have to be 70%. I'm going to focus on this, and then maybe 15% I'll focus on these other two things. But you always have to have that one thing that you're coming back to. Otherwise, it's just really inconsistent in your branding, right? Okay, so does anybody else have any questions before I let you guys go to enjoy the rest of your Friday? I didn't even get to finish my champagne all the way. And I just want to thank you guys. I really can't say enough positive things about our community here, the Profitable Psychic, our YouTube channel. I love you guys so much. You guys are the reason I get up and do this crazy thing. And I'm just so grateful to everybody here who has been helping other people in the group when I'm not available, who has been directing other people to post, has been, just being really, really helpful and being really encouraging. I truly, truly appreciate it so, so much. Desiree says, I agree. I had to focus on readings for a year to establish myself as a spiritual professional. Right. It takes about a year. If you want me to be completely honest, sure, you can go buy the 10K program that says you can do it in 3 months, but you know what? You're going to still be working on it for a year, whether you pay the 10K or not. So just from experience, just for having done this for almost a decade, it takes about a year to establish yourself in any one niche, which is why You can't keep hippity hopping, pivoting between different niches. We do that in the beginning, but you really have to decide. And it doesn't have to be as claustrophobic as you think. It's not like you have to, you can only do that one thing, but there has to be some central theme. There has to be some congruency in what you're marketing. It always has to come back down to a mission, a purpose, a statement, something that you're doing. Like everything I put out always comes back to helping people make money online through magical work. That's like what it all comes back down to. No matter what I'm selling, no matter what I'm coaching on, no matter what I'm teaching, you have to have that one thing that it always comes back down to. And what is your central mission and purpose? You guys are still welcome. Latanya says, marketing schizophrenia, LOL. I have to make myself focus on one thing. That has been my biggest flaw. And here's the thing. One day you'll wake up and the light bulb will go off and you'll get it. That happened with me. Like I was the same way. I was bouncing back and forth and bouncing back and forth. And I had success at those levels, but I didn't have the consistent success that I have now. It was always feast or famine. It was always like I'd either make a bunch of money and then a long time make no money and then make a bunch of money and then a long time make no money. But now my money is consistent. And the way that it has been consistent is I'm completely clear on who my ideal client is. I'm clear on who I am, how I help people, how I can help people, and what my intention is to do. Like what is my intention always kind of go back down to. You guys are welcome. Okay, so Mary says that's exactly my problem, nailing it down to one niche. So most people think that, okay, I'm gonna nail it down to one niche, and that's it. That's like it forever. That's like all my other choices go away. They're out the window. Well, that's not really so. So let's say you focus on one thing for a year. Let's say you want to change your niche. Okay, you can change it after a year. Fine, sure, go for it. You're gonna have to build yourself back up. But every year that you take to really establish yourself in one niche, that lends you credibility. So when you go to make the shift and pivot to a different niche, it's a lot easier, right? Because you already have an audience kind of built up. Not everybody's gonna follow you over there. That's fine. Not everybody's going to follow you to the new niche. That's fine. But you will have some people that will follow you. So the longer that you can focus on one niche and the longer you can focus on one central mission, one central message with your ideal clients and one main ideal client. Actually, it's really kind of broken down into three. You have the three different levels, right? I talk about that in the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course. That's all in there. The longer that you stick with it and the more consistent you are with it, the more people are going to trust you, and the more that people are just going to get to know you, and that they'll be along for whatever ride that you're going to take them on. Does that make sense? Jade says, if you ever scroll through a successful person's work, like on YouTube or Instagram, their earlier posts have less views, like etc. over time. They continue to develop and grow. That's my inspiration to continue. Absolutely. That is it. I mean, success really boils down to having a pretty good strategy, showing up and doing it consistently, and being consistent with your marketing and your messaging. It's, everybody wants to sell you their 10K formula, but that's really what it is. And nobody believes that until they actually get to that point. You're like, oh yeah, I guess that's all it was. It's just hard when you're grinding for that first year or two. But if you can get through that, then it's a piece of cake on the other side, guys. You're welcome, Alina. Sarah says, you're so right about the niche. Thank you. Amanda says, some I noticed have posts from like 10 years ago and they look so different, not branded, no direction, and not consistent. They took some time off and came back at it with who we know. Yeah, that sometimes is great too. Just to, step back, get some clarity, figure out what the heck is going on, who you are, what you're doing in this life, in this world, online. And trying again. That's really, I have failed more times than unsuccessful people have ever tried. And that's just really the truth. I look at my old videos, they're terrible. Look at my old branding, they're terrible. Like there's definitely points I didn't know what I was doing in this whole journey. You are so welcome. Sarah says, I think when newbies sometimes watch established people doing so much because they have added new subjects through time, they think that's the way to be successful in the beginning too. Yeah, and actually it's true, Sarah. The simpler in the beginning that you are, the easier it is to sell. You only need one thing to sell, you guys. You don't need to be the Walmart of spirituality. You don't have to have all of these different things to sell. right? You don't have to appease all of the different types of clients. That is going to burn you out, right? So you only need one thing to sell. If you have one thing you can sell over and over and over again, then you become known for that very, very, very quickly. And it's just a lot easier to sell one thing to 100 people than it is to sell 100 different things to, you know, one type of person for each of those 100 different things. Mary says, makes sense. You're what I call a soldier. You're not wavered during lockdown at all. Thank you. I've really tried to see, and I totally get it. If people need to take a step back, like I get that. That's your life. I don't know anything about you and your life. You have to make those decisions for yourself. But for me, I really wanted to be here. I really wanted to be present. That was what I wanted for my lockdown experience. Latanya says, I've learned that I have to pace myself by doing a little bit every day so that I don't burn out. I had to realize that I can't do it all in one day. Right. So what I really like to do, Latanya, is called intention segmenting. It's where you sit down. Okay, so say I'm going to do intention segmenting for 20 minutes. I'm going to do it 3 times. So the days that I don't want to work, it's never that I don't want to work. It's just sometimes nobody wants to work all the time, right? Nobody wants to have to get up and be responsible all the time. So the days that I don't really want to do it, that I'm just not feeling it, what I do is called intention segmenting. So I have it's from my old hairdressing days. I have like one of those little egg timers, you stick in the kitchen for 20 minutes. I'll sit down, put it on for 20 minutes, say, okay, Christina, you're going to sit here and work for 20 minutes. After that 20 minutes, if you want to run out of here screaming and you don't want to do anything else for the rest of the day, you're not obligated to do that. But you have to sit here for 20 minutes. You have to do something productive for 20 minutes. That's not scrolling on Facebook, not watching YouTube videos. That's actually doing work, writing, following up with people, emails, like whatever it is that I have to do, right? If at the end of that, I say, okay, I'm going to go take a break now. I'll go get a snack. I'll go get a drink of water. I'll go stretch. I'll go play with the dog. I'll go play with the cats. I'll get out one of the snakes or something, right? Then I'll do something else to distract myself. Then I say, okay, Christina, now it's time to sit. Do I want to do some more work? Okay, I think I could do some more work. All right, set the timer for 20 minutes. All right, you're obligated to sit here for 20 minutes now. You decided, you're committed to that. After this next 20 minutes, if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything. Most of the time, I can get through the 3 20-minute segments. Sometimes I'll do 20 minutes and that's all I can stand for the day. And sometimes I'm in here for 10 hours in my office working, and I'll look up and it'll be dark outside and be like, where did the day go? So, you just have to figure out what these little tricks and strategies are for yourself to get yourself to work. But really my schedule is, and I'm going to do another video where I sit down and I talk about my schedule, like actually what I do. I work about 3 days a week. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are my optional work days. If I have something to do, if I have a client appointment or something, I will show up for that. But I'm not forcing myself to come in here and sit on the computer and work. That's more like if I want to work from my phone in bed or from the couch in the living room or something like that. Does that make sense? Latanya says, that's doable. I like that idea of attention segmenting. Thank you for that tip. You're welcome. So I hope that helps you. I hope that, if you can just convince yourself to just sit for 20 minutes, then you'll be surprised at what you can get done in that 20 minutes, especially with no distractions and no YouTube or Netflix or and things like that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. I hope you have a great weekend. You're going to be seeing more of me soon. Not this week, but probably next week. We'll probably start doing more YouTube videos and things like that. Don't forget, we also have the Summer of Magic coming up. I will be doing another video probably next Friday about the Summer of Magic, because we have Monday, it's Labor Day here, so we have a short week. So I will be coming in next Friday to talk about the Summer of Magic. That's going to be a week-long event. There's another group for it. It's called Summer of Magic Video Telesummit, I believe. It's all in the announcement area of this group. That's going to be a week-long event. We have 11 free classes that we're going to be teaching about angels, extended masters. I'm going to be talking about Saint Expedite, and I'm going to be talking about Saint Germain. We have people talking about ancestors, ancestor worship, ancestor healing, ancestor altars. We have people talking about angels, creating your own angelic divination system, working with angels to heal, working with angels to do a bunch of different things, to grief and loss and things like that. So it's going to be an amazing time, and I will have more information for you guys on that next week. I will see you guys in the group next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Bye.